Hello everyone, today we have new video review and this time we are going to check fresh release from ICM. It just arrived to me and as you can see this kit is molded in 1/48 scale and copies B-26B-50, so it's a Korean War American bomber. It was called Invader and this is a new tooled plastic from ICM, so that's why it is interesting to see what is hidden inside. It is a commercial sample, so it means you will get exactly the same stuff as what you will see in this video. And in my opinion, this is one of the main releases from Ukrainian manufacturers, so that's why it is, let's say, worth opening this box and taking a careful look at all parts in order to see what we are getting from this brand. As you remember, there was a Decals set for this kit which was available in advance. You can find video review on our YouTube channel, and now we are going to start with this kit which is October release, I would say. So first of all, box size is quite big. As you can see, it barely fits into the frame. Here you can see comparison with my hand. Box art as usual is quite nice. Then here on the side we have the profile for the marking option, basically the same marking as what we see on the box art, but I hope there are more marking options inside. And here we have some information about the kit. So there are 323, actually no, there are 245 parts and wingspan will be 447 millimeters, so it should be quite a big model, but let's not forget that this is a 1/48 scale, so it's not that surprising in that sense. Now just give me a second to open it because it's a tight fit, and I would say that's a problem of all ICM boxes because we have the color printed top section, and I've seen quite funny situation on eBay. Several guys, they bought the new Dornier from ICM and they were trying to open it, and it was really difficult for them because of the tight fit of the top lid, and then they just torn apart the top section and removed it. I mean, some modders just don't care about the boxes, but we are going to try to make it in a bit more careful way, so just give me a second. In the meantime, I can say that this kit was announced in on Nuremberg Toy Fair, and it was quite surprising because everybody expected the models, I would say tank kits, also some armor from this brand, but they did not expect any US twin-engine aircraft from this brand, and especially in 1/48 scale. Nevertheless, ICM decided to go this way, so we have it available in October. Obviously there will be other versions coming out in the future, but they decided to start with B50 and then I guess we will see more. As you can see, that's really tight fitment. I'm trying to remove it, but it just barely goes up, but I think we are almost done with it. Okay, so here you can see that this top part is a color printed part, and then we have this sturdy white cardboard box, and then if we open it, here is what we have inside. So there is plenty of space inside. All sprues come in the same plastic bag. That's not cool in my opinion because it makes packaging somewhat tight, even though we have a lot of space on the top. So let's hope that maybe next year we will see a different packaging philosophy from this manufacturer, but now we have what we have and we are going to start with plastic, obviously. Just give me a second to put this box aside. And okay, so first of all we have plastic sprues. We are going to open this resealable plastic bag and we will be checking all these frames one by one. And the first one comes with various parts. Here you can see them. So we have here various external elements from what I see, and also some of the cockpit parts. For example, here is the instrument panel. We also have the nose section, which is molded as a one-piece part, and that's really cool because you won't have any seams in this area. But I think it's worth zooming in and checking everything one by one. So here you can see first section of the plastic sprue. These are landing gear ports. As you can see, some of the landing gear legs are molded as a complex one-piece elements, so be careful and try not to break them, because otherwise it will be quite difficult to repair them. Here we have separate ailerons and also some other wing mechanization. I will have to check the assembly manual, because now it's not clear how these will be used. And just give me a second, I think the microphone, yes, now it should be better. Then here we have the fuel tanks, which should be placed on the wings. Again, it depends on the marking option, because I can suppose that on some markings these fuel tanks won't be used at all. And here we have another set of various external and internal parts, which will be used on this aircraft. If we flip it over here, you can see, I guess these are landing gear doors, so that's why we have detailing from both sides. The same can be said about these parts, and it looks quite good. Then here we have the position pins for the fuel tank halves, so it should be relatively easy to align them together. And again, it's a feature which I appreciate, because it will help you speed up the assembly process. Next we have landing gear wheels. These are molded on two separate frames, and as you can see they should be glued out of two halves and separate wheel rims. We have guiding pins inside, and overall molding quality seems to be fine, but I would rather search for the resin upgrade, because in 1/48 scale, and especially in this size, it will be noticeable once you install the resin parts, because here we do not have any detailing on the tire walls, so that's why it's not that, I would say, realistic in appearance. Next we have again big frame, and here you will find, let's zoom out, you'll find the wing parts. So each wing should be glued out of two halves. I guess those will be the main supports for those wings. Then here we have the tail wings, and maybe tail wings, yes, they should be glued out of two halves as well. Now there's also a huge amount of small undrilled holes. I guess they will have to be drilled in order to install some external equipment, but I would suggest to start from the external surface, so we just zoom in. First of all, detailing here is quite typical. This means recessed panel lines and riveting. Then here we have some of the interior parts, which are also quite nice. Here we have one piece fuselage panel, and this is a top or maybe bottom wing half. Then here we have the tail wing parts and elevator part, and again if you flip it over here you can see that we have guiding pins inside and also special tabs which will help you with alignment. The same approach is used on the tail wing parts, and here you can see all those holes which I was talking about, so we can zoom in even more. Now you should be able to see it in a better way. And maybe it also hints on the future versions which will actually employ this let's say option. Next we have two absolutely identical plastic frames, and here you can see why, I mean, perfect example of why we shouldn't have all sprues packed into the same plastic bag. Because of the tight fitment, we have one of the cooling parts just let's say turned on this side, but we are going to move one frame aside because set of parts is absolutely identical here, so we are going to check it on example of this one plastic sprue. First of all, we have here engine parts which will be used in the engine gondolas. We also have the cowling parts, and note that frontal section of the cowling is molded as one piece part. That's really cool because you won't have to be worried about any possible seams and such visible and, I mean, noticeable area. We also have one piece propeller, and engine, as far as you can see, should be quite detailed out of the box. That's really cool, and we have them both, as you remember, so you can even think about exposing one on your build. Then here we have the zoomed in view. You can see here, for example, the bombs which should be glued out of two parts. Then we have separate exhaust stacks here. Obviously they will have to be installed on the engine block. Here you can see also one piece propeller together with some engine and cowling parts, and here we have more of the engine parts. Really great parts design, and I think such parts division should be handy during assembly process, and it will be more or less easy to assemble them together. Next we have another plastic bag. This one is used to preserve the clear plastic frame, so we are going to open it. And obviously here we have on the clear plastic frame we have canopy parts, and B-25 had quite an interesting canopy. Obviously masks are not included just like in other ICM kits, so you have to get some aftermarket set for this, but molding quality looks fine, so the only thing you have to worry is masks, because otherwise it will be quite a tedious procedure in order to cut all those squares. Next we have this plastic frame, and here ICM placed both fuselage halves. As you can see, they're molded together with tail segment. We have recessed panel lines and riveting, and again molding quality looks fine. Here we have tail wings which should be glued together, and if we flip it over you can see that we have quite nice interior detailing. But again we come back to the external detailing. We zoom in so that you can see it in a closer view, and we have here quite nice copy of the recessed panel lines and riveting, as well as this fabric texture, as you can see. But maybe it's just the molding technology, because as you can see here we have two lines but we do not have them on this half. And then here we have the tail wing halves, as I said before. Then if we flip it over we can see the interior area on both halves. So just spend some time trying to weather all this stuff and you will be rewarded with nice appearance of the cockpit. Next we have last gray plastic sprue. This one comes with another set of wing ports, so two wing halves, and we also have the separate engine gondolas which will have to be connected together with wing ports. And if you flip it over, then here you can see that there is some detailing for the wheel wells, because I mean otherwise it will be just a plain plastic inside. And also we have guiding pins on these parts, so it should be again quite a quick procedure to join these parts together. Next we have another useful thing. This is a assembly manual, but there is one more. Just give me a second. It's a Decals sheet, and as you can see here we have all necessary symbols for several marking options. We even have decals for the instrument panel, some stencils, but stencils amount is not that impressive, but I would say it's typical for ICM. Printing quality looks quite nice, and I would say it's different from what we are used to see in ICM kits, so I can guess they changed the printing partner. I will have to ask, because I'm not sure about this. As you can see, they're a bit more glossy. And next we have the assembly manual, as I said. Let's zoom out a bit more. Now you should be able to see it. So it's a large brochure, colored printed one. We have two short history notes in Russian and English. There is a paints chart and also some science legend. Then we have parts map, and note that here we have all parts they will be used in this build. Next we turn over the page, and only one and second canopy part they won't be used because they are designed for the different aircraft versions. So basically only two parts won't be used, all other parts will have to be used for the build. Everything starts with cockpit. As you can see here we work on the instrument panel, then we continue with this middle insert which will be actually supporting the wings. Here you assemble the bomb bay and also install it into the fuselage. So ICM decided to copy only several bombs. You won't be able to copy a full load of the bombs in the aircraft. Some modelers will be fine with this, some modelers would like to try to copy all this stuff, so then you have to resort to some resin upgrades. Here we have the installation of these middle inserts. Then we continue with frontal section of the interior. Here you have to drill a hole in the fuselage half. Then we continue with joining fuselage halves together, and as you can see this middle section will be actually helping you to get the halves together. Here we assemble the tail wings and install also the elevators, and then install everything into the place. That's a nose section being assembled. As you remember, the frontal section is molded as a one-piece part, but here you have to combine three elements together. Next we have wing assembly. And as I said before, here you'll have to cut even some plastic. You'll have to drill holes in order to install the bombs containers and also the fuel tanks. Then also here you have to install the air intake ports. Then you join fuselage, actually wing parts together. Here you install the flaps, ailerons on the wing, so they are coming as a separate parts. And next we install the position lights, also machine gun covers here, and then wings are installed on the fuselage. As you remember, the wingspan will be quite huge, so be ready for this. Here we work on the nose section. Actually, these are engine gondolas, not the nose section, because nose section is already in place. So you have to repeat this operation or this sequence twice, because there are two engines obviously. Then you install the engines on the wing. And note that manufacturer proposes to assemble the engine in the closed state, I would say, or closed version. But as far as I remember, engine should be quite detailed here, so it's worth thinking on how to open it and expose both engines, or maybe at least one. Here we continue with the installation of the fuselage section. As you can see, the top cover will be copied with a single piece part, and that's really cool because it will reduce the amount of the areas to sand and to be careful with while gluing them together. Next, here we continue with landing gear parts. So basically we assemble the nose landing gear as well as main landing gear legs. Here you assemble the engine parts. So as you can see, each cylinder block will have to be glued out of two halves, and then you combine them together. Then you install all external equipment as well as these exhaust stacks, and only after this you install it on the engine gondolas, and then it will be covered with these one-piece nose sections. So think about opening these elements, because I mean that's a shame to hide these engines inside. And especially if you will buy some aftermarket PE parts, then it will be even better. Here you have an option to install the closed bomb bay doors, or you can open them. These are actually three separate parts, so decision will be up to you. Then we continue with various minor elements. Here you assemble the machine gun turret or fuel tank, and then or bombs. So you have choice between three items. Which one to install on the wing, it will be your decision once again. Here we have one-piece propellers being installed on the engines, and that's the final state of the model. So in total you have to perform 100 steps in order to have the model in complete appearance. Here we have three marking options. So one comes from Japan, spring 1951, another one August 1950, this one is from fall 1950. And next we have top view. So three marking options in the kit, and here we have the top view for this aircraft. As I said before, this kit should be already available for purchase on Modelimex website. You can just go there and order it for yourself. In my opinion, it is quite interesting kit. For sure it is not, it is on the same level as previous twin engine releases, but those were German aircraft, and now we have a US aircraft B-26. So I will be happy to hear your opinion about this kit here in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to press the like button, because it will help us greatly. You can also press subscribe button here in order not to miss any new video review, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Bye!